Hello, thank you for joining me at Bert's Books. This isn't anything very scripted or planned again, really. This is more a rumination or a meditation on the oddities of the algorithms, I suppose, and how they behave. And the recent statistics have led me to ponder quite seriously, has Elvis taken over my channel? Now, if you're a regular at all, or you're familiar with any of the kind of backstory of this, 3 years ago, I took I did a slight deviation from my usual pulp fiction type of titles, and I did one on this Elvis, What Happened, a book I'd read many years ago and then sort of revisited around that point, on the usual supposition that a few of my mates would watch it, and I wasn't getting a silly amount of views at that stage. However, YouTube's internal workings did what they were going to do with that one. Once it had been up a couple of months, suddenly my stats go woo, along with a variety of comments, which I've dealt with or partially dealt with in another video, if you've the patience for that. But anyway, this one has always been my channel's, or for the most part, this one's been my channel's big hit. It is my big hit as far as I've got one, other than the fact that about a year ago, I suppose, just over a year ago, October last year, suddenly some internal tweaking on the techie side at YouTube went on, and the result was that my views for this, which up to that point have been pretty healthy, I mean on a good day maybe 100 or more sometimes, suddenly that went like that. It plummeted, and whatever they'd done at their end, a few of my other videos picked up slightly, but in no way compensating for the nice healthy views I've been getting on this. Now, I'm not very good at keeping up with the, I'm sure there are updates. I'm sure there are YouTube broadcasts saying, I sort of see little things about them sometimes. I never bother watching them. YouTube techies going, hey, this is what we've done this month. I don't have the patience, so I'm not very on top of it. However, I had about a year then of the Elvis stats taking a dive, although by that point I'd made a couple more on the subject. I'd done one on Gail Brewer Giorgio's Orion, a sort of fictionalised, rather idealised take on Elvis, or a pseudo Elvis, I suppose. I'd done that, and I'd also done one on arguably even more notorious book on Elvis, the Albert Goldman one. So I had about a year of things being quietish on the Elvis front, which, I suppose at least gave me a little bit of breathing space from the angrier commentators on there. I'm not, again, I won't say that's a majority of viewers or a majority of Elvis fans. It's a very vocal element of them. But anyway, around about probably September-ish this year, suddenly views on Elvis, What Happened, inexplicably shoot up again. The only other sort of decent performer I had around that point was I'd done one on Willy Heinrich's Cross of Iron, or The Willing Flesh, as that edition is known. That was doing all right for about 3 days, and then suddenly that one went down, and then Elvis goes up and stays up. And what's happening now is, if I look at the last 48 hours. Last 48 hours. Elvis, What Happened? 228 views. That's pretty respectable, right? I'm not complaining of that. Treat Me Mean and Cruel, Elvis by Albert Goldman. 112 views. Again, not complaining. That's quite nice. Then at number 3, it's like one of those chart announcements. It's like a radio chart announcement. Elvis in the top 3 spots. It was probably like late August of 1977 might have been a similar situation, possibly. But number 3, Elvis, What Happened? That was my, I suppose about a year ago, I did a sort of catch up on the Elvis What Happened video, and it as sort of a response video to some of the comments I'd had. I mean, that's not a massive hitter, but that's sort of getting about, all right, it's had 24 views in 2 days. That's all right. And hovering below that is Cross of Iron by Willi Heinrich. So there we go. Elvis just seems to be dominating. I mean, what other stats are available to me here? Not that I'm particularly obsessive with these things, but all right, it's given me 28 days. So number 1 is Elvis What Happened. Number 2 is Elvis by Albert Goldman. Actually, Cross of Iron is number 3. And then Elvis What Happened 2 years on, Reflections of a One-Hit Wonder. That's at number 4. So yeah, it's odd because this isn't what I set out to do. I pitched my stall out as a sort of trash pulp fiction sort of channel, and this Elvis thing has kind of taken on a bit of a life. So I mean, I'm aware there are people out there who will be saying, don't you dare, but it seems to me like maybe I need to do more. I mean, I don't want it to be the whole channel, but maybe I need to do more Elvis books, and I'm struggling. I don't know yet which ones I'd do. I mean, I'm kind of have this one on the go, Peter Guralnick's Careless Love, which is the part 2. I think Last Train to Memphis was this. So this is the second volume on Guralnick's biographical work on Elvis, and it's a monster. I mean, look at the size of that. So I dip in and out of this. It's kind of, the size of it. I mean, if you know what my attention span is like, that's kind of quite a lot to chew. So, I mean, it's a book I will say good things about. I like Guralnick's writing, and I think he's probably quite a sober commentator, unlike some I may mention, but I like his writing. So it's a book I will sing praises of, but I don't know yet if I'd do a dedicated video on this, or unfortunately my instinct is to go for sort of the trashier into it. So if anyone's got, I mean, I've got a couple of ideas, but I don't want to say yet. I mean, if anyone has any suggestions other than don't you dare stop it now, if anyone has any suggestions of some interesting Elvis related titles, I'm open to that. I do, in the back of my mind, I did want to, I'm curious about Goldman's Lennon book, and I don't have a dog in that fight. I'm not, Lennon isn't any sort of guru of mine. I'm not, so I'd probably go in fairly cold with that one. I just, just curious what kind of mayhem Goldman wreaks there. I mean, I have some idea from stuff I've kind of read and watched about it, but anyway, that's a possible. But I'm thinking now about likely Elvis related books that might be interesting to do. So I'll think on that. If you've any thoughts, stick them in the comments below. Now, I won't say smash that like button, also hit it if you don't, if you care to subscribe and like. That's all good, that's all nice. But okay, thank you for joining me again, and see you soon.